Hey there, second graders. Mr. Sova here on a beautiful Friday. It's not as beautiful down here as it is outside. I'm actually in the garage coming from Jackson's drums kit. I'm down here in the garage because Lisa and Jackson have told me that I'm really loud when I talk. I don't know what they're talking about. However, they're still sleeping, so I thought I would do today's read aloud from down here in our garage. Anyway, we have been spending a lot of time together, Lisa and Jackson and I, and it got me thinking about how all of us, you and me and everyone around us, are spending a lot of time with our families. I hope things have been going pretty well with your families. I'm sure you're having arguments. I'm sure there are ups and downs, just like there always are in life. We've had ups and downs over here too. Just the other day, Jackson was putting the dishes away and he put a fork in the spoon section of a drawer, and it was actually fine. But could have gone horrible. Could have gone horrible, but it didn't. Anyway, I thought I'd read this book. This is All Families Are Special. This is one of my favorite books that we had in our classroom. I don't think I've read it. If I have, I apologize. If I haven't, great, it's new to you. So this was written by Norma Simon and illustrated by Teresa Flavin. Do you know what I found out today? Mrs. Mack, my teacher, is going to be a grandma. She told our class, "My daughter is having a baby. I'll be the baby's grandmother. I can hardly wait." All the kids were surprised. It's funny to think that teachers have families. Everyone is part of a family, Mrs. Mack said. Would you like to talk about your families? Hands shot up all across the room, because kids love talking about themselves and their families. Mrs. Mack said, "Sarah, you can begin." "Well," said Sarah, "there are 4 of us in my family. There's my mom and dad and me and my little sister Rachel. She's 4 years old. We adopted her from China when she was almost a year old. Mom and Dad and I flew to China over a huge ocean, miles and miles and miles away, to bring Rachel home with us. On the long plane ride home, Rachel walked up and down the aisle with me, holding onto my hands. Everybody smiled at us. We loved Rachel right away." Nick was waving his hand. "Let's see, there's Mama and Papa, Grandma and Grandpa. We have a new baby, Josh, too. I have 2 big sisters and 2 little brothers. Me, I'm right in the middle. That makes 10 people living all in one house. When my family orders pizzas, we need 3 extra larges." 10 people? That's one big family, said Mrs. Mack. Families come in all sizes, don't they? Who has a small family? Matt raised his hand. "My family is only 2 people, my dad and me. My mom died when I was 2 years old. We have a lot of pictures of her. I like the wedding pictures the best. She looks so beautiful in her long white dress. There's one of Mom and me that I like too." Hannah, who's never shy, wanted her turn. I have 2 mommies, Michelle and Annie. In our family, we all ride bikes, take hikes, and go camping. Michelle and Annie both have green thumbs. That means they know how to grow flowers and vegetables. I'm a good gardener, too." I have a connection with that. Not because I'm a good gardener, because I'm not. But Lisa is a really good gardener, and we have a garden in our backyard. Grace was next. "Our family has 3 people," she says. "Mom, Dad, and me. But my dad has to travel for his work, so he's gone most of the time, and it's just Mom and me at home. I wish he had a different job. When my dad is someplace far away, he calls us before I go to sleep. Some nights he tells me something funny that happened, and we both laugh." Then Jessica told us about her family. Harry lives with us, my mom, my brother, and me. Harry's just like my dad, but he's not our birth father. My birth father moved away when I was still a baby, so I never knew him and I don't see him anymore. My brother says he remembers him a little bit. But Harry's great. He taught me how to pitch and he helps me with my math. We like a lot of the same books and movies. Yeah, I really like Harry. It was Juan's turn. My family is medium-sized, I guess. There's mom and dad and us kids. We moved into Grandma's house when she came home from the hospital. Grandma's much better now, but she still needs us to help her. I love Grandma's old house. It has a big porch and a big backyard. Dad lived there when he was a kid. Let's see, Grandma, Mom, Dad, me, my twin sisters, Jenny and Carla. That makes 6 people in my family. Next, it was Salma's turn. My family lives in 2 places, she explained. Grandma and Grandpa live in Pakistan. Mom and Dad were born there. They came to the United States when my brother was just a baby. I was born here. Grandpa and Grandma come to visit us every year. Grandma shows me how to make Pakistani foods like samosas. Grandpa goes to watch my brother's Little League games. I wish they would stay in America, but they say they're too old to leave their home for good. We all cry when they go, but then we can't wait until they come next time. And here's a little map. There's India and there's Pakistan right next to India, and China is close also. Next, it was my turn. There's me, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother. There's my dog, Callie, too. We used to have a cat, Mama Cat, but she died last summer. Is it okay to say a cat and a dog are part of your family, Mrs. Mack? Of course, Robert, said Mrs. Mack. Well, everyone in my family misses Mama Cat, even our dog, Callie. I don't know about that. She probably does. Kevin told us, I live with Grandma and Grandpa and Mom, but just on weekends. When Mom comes on the weekends, she sleeps in the bottom bunk bed of my room. It used to be her room when she was growing up. I love it when I wake up and she's there. I have lots of aunts, uncles, and cousins too. When the whole family gets together, like on Thanksgiving, it's a big bunch of people. The day after Thanksgiving, I always go to the movies with all my cousins. In my family, Christopher said, my mom and dad got divorced. My dad moved into an apartment, but we still live in our old house with Mom. My big brother and I keep most of our things in our house with Mom. But we have stuff at Dad's apartment too. We're usually over there a couple days a week. That's the way it is sometimes when your parents get divorced. Emily raised her hand. I have 2 families too, she said. My mom and dad are divorced. Then last year, Dad got married again to Karen. She's not my mom, but she's really nice. She's my stepmom. Karen's kids are my stepbrother and stepsister. It took a long time until we all got used to living together. Now Mom is going to marry her boyfriend, Tom. Tom's daughter, Maria, visits us on weekends. We have a pretty good time together. After everyone had a turn, Mrs. Mack said, part of living in a family is sharing happy times and sad times. Can you think of some unhappy times that happens in families? Lots of hands went up. The kids talked about when somebody gets sick and the doctor says it's serious. Or when a mom loses her job and she can't find a new one. Or when a mom and dad argue all the time and they decide to get a divorce. The children sometimes feel pulled back and forth between them. When we talked about good things that happen in families, everybody had lots to tell. About sending pictures to Grandpa and Grandma to put on the refrigerator door. About our family picnics, sending emails to cousins. Going to stay with relatives who live far away. building tree houses with a favorite uncle, feeling happy when everyone gets together for the holidays. Mrs. Mack told us, when there are bad times, families help each other feel better. And when there are good times, families enjoy them together. The different people in our families all fit together like pieces in a puzzle. You are a very important piece of your family's puzzle. This is my favorite page. No families are the same. All families are definitely special. And I couldn't agree more with that, boys and girls. All families are different, and all families are special in their own way. So I hope that you were able to make some connections with this book. Either what your family looks like, what kind of good times you have, or even maybe some of the bad times you have. Because like Mrs. Mack, the teacher said, whenever we have bad times, families try to help each other get through those bad times. So that's the book. I will see you later for Flora and Ulysses, and I'll see you later on Zoom. And I'm going to play a little musical number before we end the video. Ready? I'm a prodigy, boys and girls, a prodigy. I'm too old to be a prodigy. And ask your grown-ups what prodigy means.